this video I'm going to demonstrate how to use aluminum panels, how to prepare them with golden acrylic gesso, how to glue mount canvas on the surface using an archival pH neutral glue, and how easy you can cut them with just using an X-Acto knife and a ruler. These panels are made with 2 sheets of aluminum and a core of polyethylene. You can buy them with the name of ACM, which is Aluminum Composite Material. They come in different thickness. This one is 4 millimeters, and I like to have this one for larger works because the thinner one tends to bend when the sheet is too large. So I like this one. Dibond, I have this one big sheet of Dibond, which is a tiny piece here. And this is 3 millimeters. This is the most common one. Very easy to cut as well. It comes with one part that has a finish side, very smooth. One part unfinished, also smooth. So I use this side always, and I scratch it with my sandpaper. I always do that. And this one is a little hard to find. This is the thinner one. This is at 2 millimeters. Yeah, this material is really easy to use. It's portable. You can cut it in any size. It's not too expensive. If you buy bigger sheets, it is a great support. It's also archival. It doesn't bend too easily, and it doesn't get affected by humidity or water. So it seems like a very good option to have in the studio to complement your materials. The way I cut it, I usually make a mark where I want this to be 10. I want to cut this, I want to make 10 by 12, so I'm just going to cut this all the way up and just make a little mark on it. You can use a Sharpie just so I can follow a little bit that line. So make sure your X-Acto is pretty sharp, and then just go ahead and it's just gonna take a little bit of pressure. Okay, that's enough. And you just need to put it in a flat surface, and it's gonna snap. Go snap back, and it's all cut. So I use most of the time I use this golden acrylic gesso from Gambling. I really like it. It dries super fast, and I usually cut it with 3 parts of gesso and 1 part of water by eye. I don't actually measure super precise, just by eye, because it comes it's really thick as it comes. I also like to use the Rublev lead oil ground. This one will dry a little slower. So if you are gonna use an oil-based ground, you need to think about the time that it's gonna take for drying, because oil dries a little slower. So just take that in consideration. When I use gesso, I apply 1 coat and I let it dry for a couple minutes, and I sand a little bit in between coats. Obviously with the lead, you don't want to sand lead. You'll need whatever applicator you want. I sanded in between coats with you can see this is 120 grain for sanding, for breaking this surface up at the beginning, because it's really smooth and I need to break this up. I need to sand this before applying the gesso. For doing that, I'll use the rougher sandpaper I I get, which is the number 50. For mounting linen on Dibond, I also need to sand the face that I'm gonna use for the glue. So I usually use the this part, not the white. The glue I use, some people use something, another product that is reversible, Veva I think is the name. I don't use it. I rather use this. So and I like how it works. So you'll need something to spread the glue on. Okay, so you really want to scratch this because if you apply the whatever ground you have on top of the surface and it doesn't have any tooth, it's gonna start peeling, and it's really easy then to peel off, and it's not gonna work if you don't really sand this well. So it has some dust, so you want to make sure that you take this dust away with a rag. And once it's clean, we're gonna start applying the gesso. So here's the consistency you wanna have. It's not too thick, and it's easy to apply. Okay. So I usually do around 5 or 6 coats. So I rather have thin coats, layers, instead of 1 or 2 super thick coats, you know. Here, if you want to accelerate the dryer time, you can use hair dryer. And just make sure it's dry. It's completely dry. And I can apply. So next coat I'm gonna apply it this way. And I'm not gonna sand right now. I'll sand in the next one. There's not a lot of texture. Okay. Okay, make sure it's dry, and then you change your sandpaper grain. This is finer, and then just gonna sand very lightly. And repeat this until you're done with your coats, the number of coats you want. So this is the linen I'm going to use. I have a big roll of Classon's 15 double prime oil prime. So it is pretty thick, and I love this linen. So some people have trouble gluing this linen. So the thicker it is I think it's harder to glue. I usually don't have any problem. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sand this really well, the same way I sanded the other panel. So the more you break this smooth surface, the better, actually. So just scratch it all the way this side, this way, so that it has enough tooth to get the glue. Maybe I'll need a little bit more, but I'm just gonna spread from the center out and just make sure that everything is covered, all the corners, especially the corners, the edges. Alright, so I'm going to put it in here. And make sure that it's all glued. And it takes a little bit of time. To me once. Also make sure that, for example, now you can take off your gloves because you don't want to have glue on your linen. And just, you know. Here so that it doesn't get any of this roughness of my work space. And this Vermeer book, if you have something bigger, even better, that it covers all the corners. You want the same pressure everywhere, right? What I do is I have this big box with tools that we use for framing. After just leaving it there for the whole night. They're both gray surface, ready to be toned and to work.